Gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to the channel. This time we're continuing the search for diamonds. Now, I don't know how visible it is, but there's actually an abandoned mineshaft here. And mineshafts usually have some pretty good stuff in them. Take enchanted books, for example. Not to mention food, which will be useful very soon because I'm actually running low on food. But not only that, there's usually some exposed diamonds because of the terrain generation, which makes diamonds easier to get as well. So without further ado, let's get into it then, shall we? Would you look at that? My very first diamond. There's something about the trophy sound of getting a diamond that feels nice, genuinely. Fact is, anything that happens in life, luck didn't lead us here. It was the result of hard work, wherever it may be, whatever it may be. It's the fact that you went out there and tried. And that gets you the thing you desire most. And so long as you know this and try, you have nothing to worry about in life. Mineshafts are great, but the fact that they are literally like a maze is very annoying. However, the loot does make up for it. Another diamond. I almost missed this one. Oh, there seems to be two this time. Not a bad start whatsoever. Now, when I was away exploring for a while, my furnace finished cooking up some iron, and as I always say, it's better to be safe than sorry. So I crafted some iron armor, and there's a trophy. I spotted this one while I was up scouting from the mineshaft bridges, and if I continue at this rate, I think I'll have north of 20 diamonds by the time I'm out of the cave. You have got to be kidding me. Are you serious? This cannot be the way it goes. Well, hello there. I know you're angry because I'm invading your territory, but I would like for you to make peace with it because I'm not gonna leave that easy. Okay, I think it's time for a tactical retreat because if I continue in there like this, I'm definitely not going to survive. Alright, so my plan is to lure this creeper to the monsters on this. Oh my god. I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh no. Oh no. No. Oh. I survived for 0.7 seconds after the explosion. And the skeletons were rushing in to grab my items. No. This is bad. This is actually very bad. But I can't help but kind of laugh at it because it was kind of funny. But this is bad. And now the realization starts to hit because that cave was 1,000 blocks away. Not only that, it's also the fact that I don't even remember what the entrance was like. I remember the coordinates. I know where I should go. But I don't remember the shape of the entrance of the cave. I don't remember what the entrance was like. So even if I get there, I don't think I would find the right entrance that actually leads all the way down there. And even if I do find the entrance, another problem arises because I traveled quite a lot in that cave. So I'm going to have to track down every single hole to try and figure out what way I actually went to get to the coordinates I died in. That's going to be a very big problem. And there I was a moment ago talking about how nice it is to have diamonds, to have found diamonds for the first time in this world and so on. And then here I am now, dead the next moment, with my items scattered across the floor, 1,000 blocks away. And here I am trying to figure it out. So getting there is going to be a problem. It's probably going to be next to impossible to get back the items because, well, first of all, they only stay on the ground for 4 minutes, and past that they despawn. But I don't think it's possible to get there in 4 minutes. And I do have the coordinates here. Let me check. Let me see if I can find the coordinates because I do remember I took a screenshot in the beginning. I think I can figure it out if I'm not mistaken. No, this is probably for the trophy. This is still for the trophy, I think. Oh, there it is. There it is. So, yeah, 1,000 something. And I think if I probably continue going this direction that I'm heading in, I think we'll reach it. Yeah, no problemo. I think we can reach the cave, and I'll probably need to cut down a tree and I guess get myself some stone, well, not stone, but wooden tools to get there fast. Oh no, another problem is I'm running out of hunger, and if I were to run, what at this point, like 700 blocks remaining, if I were to run 700 blocks, I probably would need food, which is another problem because what this was completely unexpected. Like no Minecraft player ever gets into the cave and doesn't expect to die. I mean, the risk of death is always there, whether it's something as foolish as this or whether you died completely accidentally. It's not in your hands. It happens, and I think that's a part of Minecraft as a whole. It's part of this game. It's part of the fact that it's a part of life in a way. You die and you have to start again. You have to go back there or try and find your items. And suppose I get there and I don't see the items there. Well, first of all, I'd be sad because I made a lot of progress. And, well, even though it's not a lot, I got like, what, 3 diamonds? I don't know, I think like 2 stacks of iron, some copper, some lapis, whatever else. And, seeing all that go, even though it was the total work of, I don't know, like 2 hours or something like that, 2 hours of mining, seeing it go would be sad. But at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it happened. So why not accept that it happened and move on with your life and try again? Because that's the thing about life. It's the fact that people refuse to give up. And they continue to go through with the difficult tasks, with whatever happened, that makes it beautiful. So even if those items disappeared, even if I didn't get them back, I'd start over again, and I'd do it all as if it's the first time. I wouldn't be sad whatsoever. I'd actually be happy because I just lost, and I learned not to run headfirst into a group of mobs, because that's what killed me. So, in fact, I gained something, even if I lost those items. I gained knowledge, the fact that I know not to repeat that foolish mistake again. That's something to cherish, and that's something to understand, and just say, okay, life gave me a lesson, even though it was my fault, even though I did the wrong, even though I committed that mistake, I still learned, and I still gained information, I gained knowledge, I gained wisdom through this task, through this mistake. So I'm actually kind of happy that it happened. And although I'm sad that I had to see those diamonds go, because yes, even though it was 3 diamonds, it was still, it was progress. I spent a long time to track down those diamonds, and seeing them go now, sure, it does kind of take a toll on my soul, but it's not going to stop me from trying again. It's not going to stop me from going out there and getting more diamonds. And this was completely unscripted, by the way. I didn't have a script for a good majority of what actually happened. I was planning to lure the creeper to the monsters that were on the other side of the pillar, and how it went in my head was, okay, the creeper is going to blow up most of the mobs. It would also deal damage to me, but not as much as it would deal damage to them. And basically, I would go in and finish the remaining mobs and eat rotten flesh and then just recover, and that's it. But that's absolutely not how it went, so here we are now. But as I said, there's no problem about that. It's fine, it happens. Minecraft is a series of ups and downs, and so is life, actually. I don't need to say this 1,000 times. It happens in life, and Minecraft it's a reflection of life in a way. And that's what makes it enjoyable. The fact that things that happen in this game are basically things that happen in real life to you, that kind of gives me comfort in this game. And I will always know this game as a home. And although what happened was unpleasant, it was still part of the home that I know that I have loved in this game. Okay, so I've been looking for a while for these items, and I don't know whether I should give you good news or bad news, because, first of all, I don't know how many minutes passed. And we all know the timer is 4 minutes. It's happened to the best players in the history of Minecraft, of course. And the timer that ticks to your doom is 4 minutes long. And I don't know how many minutes already passed. I'm just trying to go based off of instinct and trying to remember exactly what path I went down. But it's most likely going to be a path that basically led very deep into the cave. Now, wherever that path is, I need to try and find it. Of course, as you can see, I'm just going around in circles trying to figure out where I went. And it's not easy. It definitely is not easy trying to figure out what path you went down, because I'm an explorer and I basically explore every corner of every cave that I go to. And here, I've scattered a bunch of torches around, which was supposed to be helpful, but in my case, it's not helping whatsoever. It's actually making things worse. Now, me trying to figure out where I went, because of the many trails of torches that I left behind me, it's going to be confusing. I can't track it down. I can't know where I went, and so I'm just going in circles. Okay, so I eventually managed to find the path that was leading to the deeper parts of the cave, and eventually to the mine shaft as well. But as we draw closer, I think we have to kind of talk about the possibilities of what happened, because that's important. And what happened, like, did the items despawn? Because I don't know how long I've been looking for them. Or are they still there? Or if they are there, and there's the mine shaft, this is definitely where I died. I think it was this way, I'm not exactly sure. But as I was saying, are the items there, or if they are not, or if they are there with a heap of monsters still surrounding them, and so on and so forth. Because the time it took me to get to this point, I'm guessing that at least some mobs spawned while I was away. But let's go and find out. Let's see what happens. Man, this is definitely not a good sign. I mean, if a creeper is here, then most likely my items are surrounded by mobs, or worse, they might have picked it up. But up here is the place that I died, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Okay, there seems to be no mobs around my items, so we might be able to grab a bunch. There are the diamonds. The diamonds are okay, good. We got a bunch of gold. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. Let's get what we can and scoop away from their sight. I'm gonna box myself in here because that skeleton definitely saw me and he's coming my way. The smartest thing to do is to heal up before I confront the mobs and get the rest of my items, because my armor's gone. Or at least I didn't see it on the ground. I think they picked it up, and apologies for the darkness, but you'll be able to see soon enough, don't worry about it. So, armor's gone, certainly, and I think a bunch of my other stuff as well, I'm not exactly sure, but so far the only thing that's missing, or at least the only thing that I can tell is missing, is the armor. Let's heal up a little, and then we'll go back out there, and we'll take out the skeleton, and I think we might be able to salvage the armor, because, I mean, it was perfectly good armor, so why not? Okay, so I have a decent amount of hearts. I think we can go back out there with no problems. Though, last time we did die with armor on, and this time we don't have any armor, let alone that, we don't even have full hearts. So, I think the best course of action is to avoid conflict as much as I can, or at least kill the mobs that are necessary to be killed. And I'll try and not make this into another ambush, because last one was just crazy. I mean, what, 5 skeletons grouped together? That was insane. Oh, there it is. There's my armor. Okay. No chest plate in sight. But at least we got a decent amount of protection from the parts that we did salvage. So it's not a problem. We can craft another chest plate anytime. And in fact, we're going to do it right now. I'm going to go back to my furnace, my base of operations, and I'm going to craft another chest plate. And then we'll figure it out from there. Finally. Okay, golden apple isn't really bad. It could have been better, but it's fine. I was kind of expecting food, actually. And another one. Yes, we got food and torches. This is good. I can confidently tell you that the food and the torches we come across in these chests are valued much higher than diamonds. Okay, so I explored every corner of that mine shaft. I got myself a decent haul through the chests and the exposed diamonds, but it did get kind of repetitive and I didn't want to bore my audience, so I cut that part out of the video. And now I'm trying to make my way out because our next objective is to hopefully find a village. Now, as I said, I don't know how difficult that will be because I've been traveling for a while, and I mean, at this point I've traveled over 1,000 blocks in one direction, and I still haven't come across any villages or any structures, really. I mean, I haven't seen any structures at all. Would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? We found ourselves another shipwreck. Now, with the last one, I wasn't so fortunate because it had no chests inside, but I have hope for this one. There it is. And it's got some pretty good loot too. I'm not complaining whatsoever. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these structures usually have 2 chests. I'm not exactly sure, but oh yeah, there it is. Ah, we got a treasure map. Okay. I guess our next objective has to get kind of delayed because I'm going to track this one down. Alright, I found out where it is, now I just need to dig out the sand. Ah, we found the treasure, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see what it has. Okay, we got diamonds, nice. Extra iron isn't bad to have either. We also got some food. I don't know what the TNT could be used for, but I'll take it regardless. I don't really care. But the extra food is really nice. I think the extra food is basically a blessing from the gods above. Okay, so I've been searching for hours in order to find a village. Now, it's not a necessity to find one because all the resources you can get in a village I can get myself. No worries. But at this point, it would be nice to see some civilization because, you know, the terrain that I had to cover was mostly just islands in the middle of an ocean, a very large ocean, so I had to cover great distances with a boat. And it starts to get to you, it really does. I mean, it feels like I've been on the road, or at the sea, in real life. You know, that's how exhausting it got. Hang on a minute. Are my eyes deceiving me, or is that actually a house? No way! We finally found a village after all this time. You cannot possibly imagine how long I've been searching for this village. Well, not this specific village, but any village at all. I would take anything at this point, because I've been searching for 4 hours, and I didn't even know it was 4 hours. I just checked the content, that I had recorded. And I saw that all the recordings together gathered up to just under 4 hours, which is insane. So, you cannot possibly imagine how happy I am to have finally found a village, and to finally commandeer one of their homes and sleep in one of their beds feels heavenly. I, for one, think that's enough for today. Even though it doesn't seem much in the video, because I was cropping most of it, I guarantee you I've been going at it for a very long time. Plus, this isn't the only progress I'll ever make. There's more bound to come, but for now, I must leave you all. Even though this one was one of the more time-consuming ones, I still enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. I wish you all good luck in your lives, and I bid you all farewell.